Hello, welcome everyone to today's live immigration attorney chat. My name is attorney Vanessa Ruiz of Immigration for Couples. For those of you who are new to our firm or to our Facebook page, our firm is dedicated to helping exclusively couples specifically navigate the U.S. immigration process. So we assist clients across the nation, across the world. We honestly have clients from all over. It's one of our favorite things. And we regularly host these Facebook Lives, just like this one, to provide you with important information and updates in the world of the immigration for couples. Today, I'm going to be discussing what's new with the public charge rule. For those of you who are joining us live today, please feel free to type any questions you may have in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer those after I kind of discuss the topic a little bit if we have some time. For those of you who are watching on replay, that's okay. Also leave us some comments. We love reading your comments, and also it helps give us ideas for topics for next time. And so that way, if you get a chance to follow us weekly, we're probably going to talk about something that is important to you or that you've been wondering, kind of those burning questions. So definitely leave us comments, whether you're live or whether you're watching later. So kind of getting into this week's topic, what's new with the public charge rule? So the public charge is something that has been in effect for decades with immigration, but has really kind of been gaining that notoriety the past couple of years under the past, presidential administration. Essentially, it came to light because they implemented a new rule. So in 1999, they proposed a rule, and that's kind of the guidance that we've been following for the past, 20 years, whatever it may be, or more. And until 2019 and 2020, there was nothing really about the public charge rule. It was in effect. Immigration would always consider certain factors, but what really brought the attention to it in 2019, 2020 was that they implemented a new rule, and it became very burdensome. So people had to essentially fill out new forms that they never had to before. They had to show a lot of proof that they wouldn't become a burden on the government. So essentially, what the government doesn't want is for a person who is applying for an immigration benefit to become a public charge on the government, essentially receiving certain types of cash benefits and being unable to support themselves. And so what happened a few years ago was that they implemented a very, very heavy rule that required a lot of information, a lot of documentation. It was honestly just very burdensome on every applicant. And honestly, even looking at it myself, sometimes thinking, nobody really is going to qualify for this because they made it very, very heavy. And so thankfully, once the new administration came in, they put a pause on that and they said, we're going to go ahead and reevaluate. And so that's what happened. Today, they actually they announced their final rule today. And what's going to happen is it's going to go in effect in 105 days. Essentially, their effective date is going to be December 23rd of 2022. So in a few months, around Christmas time. And so they're saying this is our new proposed rule, and now it's going to be finalized. So hopefully this is kind of the end of us going through the ups and downs of that public charge rule. So they've kind of essentially taken the 1999 rule and added a couple of things, tweaked a few things, but they knew that the rule from a few years ago, from the 2019, essentially what they called it, the 2019 rule, was too heavy and too burdensome on applicants. So they decided we're going to take a couple of things from that, but we're really going to base it off of this 1999 rule that's been working for us just fine up until this point. And so essentially what they're saying is that the main types of benefits that are going to be applicable when they're considering the public charge are going to be essentially cash assistance. So one of the things that they are considering is, cash assistance under temporary assistance for needy families called the TANF program, state and local cash assistance programs that provide benefits for income maintenance. Usually they're called general assistance programs. They're also going to consider institutionalization, those people who might have to be institutionalized for long-term care at the government expense. So they're not talking private expenses, they're talking government expenses, such as government-funded nursing homes or government-funded mental health institutions, things like that. And so essentially what they're saying is we're not considering kind of some of those main benefits that people are actually eligible for. So a lot of people don't actually qualify for a lot of these public benefits when they come in as permanent residents, things like that. And so also one of the key things to remember is that these rules are, for people who are adjusting their status, these people who are applying for their actual green card, people who already have green cards, people who are citizens, they don't apply to them. And so it's mostly for people who are at the stage of applying currently. And so they are not going to consider Medicaid or other health insurance or health services. They specifically mentioned they are not going to hold anything against those who might have requested any kind of public benefit during COVID times. And so, people who are getting vaccines, people who are seeking medical treatment, they're still encouraging people, get that emergency medical treatment, get what you need to do, keep yourself safe, keep yourself healthy, because we're not going to be considering that negatively. And so they specifically also mentioned CHIP, Children's Health Insurance Programs, SNAP, which is, nutrition programs, including food stamps, things like that, housing benefits, childcare services, emergency assistance, emergency disaster reliefs, foster care and adoption assistance, educational assistance, job training programs, community-based programs or assistance such as soup kitchens, crisis counseling and intervention, short-term shelters, domestic violence shelters, things like that. So they're not going to be considering all that, which is good, just because those are usually the things that people need on an emergency type basis. So the good thing is that they have specifically said we are not considering those. And another big thing that they're saying is that it doesn't matter if family members within the household have received those benefits. So it's really for the applicant themselves. So a lot of the questions that were coming up were, if my US citizen children are receiving these benefits, is it going to affect me? Thankfully, they are going to make sure to codify that and say no. It does not count against you if your resident, if your citizen spouse or your citizen children, your citizen parents, anything like that have received these benefits. It's not going to count against the applicant themselves. So that's really good as well. And so, essentially what they're doing is they're taking little pieces from both, but they're mostly using the old rule, meaning that, they're going to make it not as burdensome. They have also said that there will not be any additional forms. They're going to kind of incorporate it into the forms and applications that we already have. Instead of having separate ones for a while there, we had to submit extra forms, extra evidence, things like that. And so the good thing is that they're trying to make it where it's not as heavy of a burden on these applicants. And this is specifically for USCIS, meaning for those people who are applying within the US. And the Department of State and those consular processing cases usually follow suit, but they are under a different guidance called the FAM, and essentially they usually will follow whatever USCIS is saying. Sometimes it just takes them a little bit longer to actually codify it as well. And so we're looking forward to them doing that also, since we know we have a lot of clients who are doing their interviews outside of the US. So we're hoping that soon they'll follow suit and have something in writing as well. And so pretty much we are thankful for them codifying this new rule and making it clearer to people. And that way people aren't left wondering, people aren't left worried. And as usual, if somebody doesn't qualify as a financial sponsor, they can get joint sponsors, things like that. And essentially what immigration has also said is that as a last case scenario, if for some reason they believe that somebody is going to be a burden on the government, they don't have a sponsor who earns enough to be their sponsor, for some reason maybe they don't have a joint sponsor, kind of the catch-all is that they can actually request a bond. So they may submit a letter to somebody at the end of their case saying, well, we cannot approve you. We do think that you're going to be you're going to fall into this public charge. You're going to be a burden on the government. But if you pay a certain bond amount, then it's kind of like a show of good faith that you were able to get this. And at the end, you can apply and we can approve you. And so it's essentially a fee in a way, a fine that this person may have to pay, but later on they can try and recoup that after a certain amount of time, things like that. So that's kind of like last resort. We don't see that very often. So most of the time people are fine as long as they're showing that they have a joint sponsor, a joint financial sponsor who can also help them in case that the person who is petitioning for them isn't able to earn enough and they're not able to show enough of their own resources. So we always have that positive thing. I want to say hello, shout out to AJ watching from Liberia. Thank you so much for watching. And like I said, we're going to do these Facebook Lives every week. And so we're going to have little topics like this. If you have any questions at all, any kind of comment, like I said, leave it in the comments and we'll go ahead and we'll try and answer them live if we have time, or we can definitely try and make a new video. I know Attorney Desiree did one yesterday and we had a really good question come up from one of the watchers who asked about the medical exam. So that's something that we're definitely going to talk about soon. And so if you have any ideas, any kind of questions or something that you want answered, something that you may have already have answered, but you think would benefit somebody else, definitely leave that in the comments. We have another viewer, Mohammed. Hello from Yemen. Hi, Mohammed. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you for sharing this information. So for everyone who is watching live, for everyone who's watching later, we encourage you to please check out our free resource center, immigrationforcouples.com. That's our website. We have a lot of Facebook Lives. We have YouTube videos. We have downloadable charts and resources for people who are kind of starting the process. And we'd love to be able to help you all through that process as well. So if you are in a relationship, thinking about maybe proposing, maybe popping that question, trying to settle down, anything like that, we would love to be able to talk to you all about that and kind of help guide you through this. So, we give general advice here, but nothing is going to beat a consultation with an attorney where we really can dive into your individual situation. I always tell people that no two cases are alike. Even when they think they are, they honestly are not. So we encourage you to check out those resources. Like I said, Immigration for Couples. Follow our Facebook page, and also if you can like and share, these videos, it's going to help reach other couples, going to help reach other people. And that way we can definitely just widen our scope and help as many people as possible. That's what my goal is. That's why I became an attorney. I know that attorneys Megan and attorney Desiree also feel the same. I mean, helping people is just what we do best and it's what we enjoy the most. So definitely like and share these videos so we can reach more people. And we will see you next week. I hope you guys have a great weekend and we'll talk to you soon.